Aloha, my beautiful friends on the other side of the screen. My name is Krista Lakshmi Ditton, coming to you from beautiful sunny San Diego, wishing you all the amazing energy and aloha from here, from my heart to your hearts. As an abundance anthropologist, I always believe we all have treasure boxes inside of us. And my mission has been to guide people to find those treasure boxes where we have our hidden talents. And once we open those hidden talents and put them to work, we activate our holistic abundance. And after we have activated our holistic abundance, we will be able to manifest our inner fairy tales into the dreams in this reality on our terms. Welcome to my next Facebook Live, and today we have a very exciting topic, which is commitment secrets. And I'm just freshly coming out of a beautiful experience called Clients in Abundance, and as an abundance anthropologist, it's a very appropriate event where I went. As you know, all of you who you have been following me for a while, I'm very dedicated to personal growth, for my own growth as well for yours, in whatever way we are connected. So if you get to this beautiful space today, please give me thumbs up. And I see Malla is already here, very nice. If you have questions about the topic also, don't hesitate to ask while I'm live or later. And I will go into the topic first, and if we have a little extra time in the end, I will share a couple of nuggets from the weekend events as well. So commitments have been such a interesting topic for me. For very many years, I really struggled with it. I hated commitments. I was running away from them. I was trying all kinds of tricks, you know. I didn't really like them because in my mind that time I had a perception that all kinds of commitments, they are actually, you know, they take my freedom away, they put me into the box or into the prison, and then I'm really limited in what I can do and how I can do. But after some time, and as life was also giving me more and more challenges, I was facing the truth that actually what has been wrong about commitments has been actually my mindset or perception about them. Commitment. And as I started to look into it, like, okay, so what are those commitments which I could choose, which could change my life for the better? Maybe I can also change that mindset. And voila, once I did that, everything started to change. So I also see Eha is here from Germany. Aloha, Eha. So I'll share a little story with you before I go into those little nuggets which I put kind of together as also like a little container for today's live. So while I was in Mexico and everything was kind of going left, I realized that in order for me to really make a huge shift and change my life, I had to actually really look deeply into my commitments, to myself, to my life, to my work, like really in a holistic sense, you know. And at the time I was actually in a situation where my money was getting very low. So I realized also one very, very important thing, which many of you may also have experienced in your life or are experiencing now. I don't know exactly, but you know, these moments where you understand that if I don't have enough money or if I don't have more than enough money, I will always be, you know, dependent on other people's kindness or possibilities or whatever it was, you know. At that time, I was basically pretty much like without money. So I was trying to figure out ways like how I can like kind of get through that low point. And I realized that the only way out of this is actually to do a commitment. So the first commitment I did was to start to write my blog for every week, one blog a day. I actually first started one blog a day, but then I realized that this was like too much of crazy of a goal. So I changed it to one blog per week. And I made a commitment to do that for 12 next months, every week. And what came out of it was that the first 12 months I started to get so much feedback from people who were reading my blog that, oh my God, Crystal, you have amazing things you are experiencing, you have so much knowledge. Could I work with you? Like, do you have an online program or something I could, work with you? And then I restructured my online classes, which I had that time, and changed it into a structure so that I could make another new commitment. And I had never ever had an online class which I was leading for 12 months. For me, it felt like so absurd and so like imprisonment, literally. So I understood that, okay, if I'm going to commit those 12 months, so also making a little calculation. So if I have like 10 people for those 12 months, for example, then my income will be this, so I could start to actually build up a little budget. So at the time I had also figured out how to live in Mexico. So I was living in this cultural center and I was working for my rent. So I didn't pay for rent, so all the money which came in through my online classes or whatever sessions or stuff I did was going into my savings. My overhead at the time was like maybe only like 100 euros per month, food and transport and so on. I lived such a simple life. It was like just crazy to even think back about it, But it was one of the times where I also was maybe happiest, because when you live a simple life, then also you don't have many complications. So what I started to do, I started to put, savings, everything which was extra, so that next time when I was traveling back to Estonia, I could really boost my business. And usually also when I go to Estonia, I prepare it so well that I create like extra profit for later times. So that was the case. So I could put everything I had put on the side in Estonia to, invest into a little car rental and rented a little room, and then work like crazy for those months. And that time also I stayed for a little longer. So everything there also I could save, I put to the side. And I was so shocked, like after 2 years break going back to Estonia, how prices had skyrocketed. So my monthly overhead in Estonia was 1,500 euros. And I lived very simply. So I had a car rental with like a very small car, which I actually basically rented from a friend. And I needed a car because of the nature of my work and classes and so on. So, and also I went to do events in other towns and so on. So it made my logistics easier. And I rented a room from a friend pretty much in the central Tallinn. So, and then I didn't, party. I ate very like simple, healthy food and so on. But still, all these things adding up with the business expenses as well was like, adding up. But because now I had, the savings I could use for that purpose, and then also have more clients, more events and so on, so I could build up more profit again. And then I left for Mexico again, and then by that time I already also worked for getting, my papers in ready, so I could start to work in the hotels, like completely legally there. So I understood that in order to really build things, I have to make those commitments, and these commitments which I made for those 2 times 12 months completely changed my life. And during that time, I also met Michael, who is a master planner, who is a master budgeter, who is a master finance guy, So sitting down with him, I could also learn more tricks and tools, how I can also, grow my money and grow my business and, change my habits and so on. Because Michael at one time had like 5 companies, so he obviously knew what he was doing, And Michael at the time was, just cruising for almost like already like 10 years. So he obviously needed to know how to save and how to make things, happen that way. So I learned so much and still learning so much from him. And the biggest gift was to find him and also, you know, start to build business with him and start to build life with him, because now it's like the gypsy girl I was in Mexico, and now it's like two complete different, you know, personalities I have here. So I also have Heli Nosar. Aloha, very nice to have you. So now I'll also give you a question, if you can answer while you are watching this, would be cool. So how do you define commitment? You know, that's really a core thing. I will come to it. But before we go to my commitment definition, which I actually sat down yesterday and took like 10 minutes to write it down, which came out pretty nice, I think. I also went online to see like what's the commitment, you know, general commitment definition. And online, the first one was commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, or so on. Secondly, a business commitment can be an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom or action. I really like the way this is put here, constricts the freedom or action. And that's, I think, where my mindset had been coming from. You know, when I am committed to something, then, you know, I'm restricted. I'm like, my freedom has been taken away. So now listen what my definition to commitment is. Commitment is a conscious choice to be or do something which is in alignment with my higher purpose and why, and has the ability to create more freedom and harmony for me and others around me. So that's really deep. So if you didn't really get it, you can pause the video later and, you know, listen to it again. But that really hit myself, you know, hard, like, oh my God, this is really amazing. You know, a conscious choice to be or do something which is in alignment with my higher purpose and why, and has the ability to create more freedom and harmony for me and others around me. So as I was, you know, doing those commitments with my business and money and clients, it was starting to create more freedom, more harmony for myself and also people around me. And because these commitments were also connected and aligned with my purpose and why, I also had more joy, more energy, and I was really turned on, you know, all the time. So, you know, then people ask like, so what is your higher purpose? So my higher purpose is to help people to heal and reset their relationship to abundance and help them to find their talents and why, so they can activate their abundance wheel and keep it going for generations afterwards. So my point is the abundance wheel, which I have been explaining here in many of the videos and also during my abundance, holistic abundance challenge in January. You can go back in the videos or also in my blog. I can put the little link here also so you can see the overview where I talk about the abundance wheel. So what happens if you learn to activate your abundance wheel from the sexuality, from your relationships, from your health, from your life mission? Your holistic abundance will be always activated, always working, and always producing, you know, these abundance opportunities. And once you learn it, you can also teach it to your children. And one of the core elements in this process is actually to find your talents, like why you are here, what's bringing you joy, what is, you know, really making you like tick, you know, this is my thing, you know. Like I met Malle here, who is here today from Hawaii, you know. We were looking for a photographer for our wedding with Michael. And then through another connection came out, wow, we have an Estonian photographer there. And she just figured it out, learned everything she could, and is now one of the best wedding photographers in Hawaii, you know. So, and then also now adding things to it, like, okay, video is needed. Okay, let's learn video. So we learn video. So there are so many different ways you can express your talents. And it's not only one thing, or life mission as well. So it's really, really cool to look into that. So, and now, If you want to know what's your deeper purpose and why, I talked about, your pain moments in your life, how this is connected to your why. If you are going to choose to do the Inner Family course with me this year, we will go deeper into it and figure out every month more and more possibilities what your why is, your spiritual why. And one of my spiritual whys, which I have discovered, is actually to help women to learn how to set boundaries and how to fully become who they are and declare and demand the queendom they are and choose to be. And this is something also I would never even had considered to call myself as a queen. For me, this seemed like so over the top, and also maybe I thought something like egoistic, but queen is the kind of way of being every woman is actually born to, but because we don't usually we are not born to kingdoms or royal palaces. We have to actually learn how to be that, and we have to attract people into our lives who can teach us that. So I've been so lucky to find that king who actually brought that queen out of me, and now starting to live that way. So if you have your definition of commitment, please don't hesitate to share it here. I see Lea is here, Hia Garner is here, and also Annel Ernitz is here. Very nice to have you. So why is it very important to define commitment or whatever concept you are working with? It's very important because if you don't understand and you don't know your definition to whatever you are teaching, then you can't change it. So if I hadn't really understood what commitment for me is and realized oh my God, I have that negative connotation about it, it takes away my freedom and it's limiting my actions, then I would have never been able to look at the positive side and how it can actually help me to build the container which holds my life together and helps me to do and create more of what I'm here to do and create and what is my, joy. So in your case, if you want to really change something in your life, whatever that is, think first, what is that definition? How do you define, One other big topic which I will probably take maybe focus next week is self-sabotage, which is such a huge topic, has been in my life as well. So we can go deeper on that too. But, think of what it is, try to define it, and then, change that definition. You can start to understand it, and then you can start to rebuild it according to, your needs. So as I started to do those commitments, I started to actually rebuild and reset my commitment relationship, so to say, or relationship to commitment. Before it had been my enemy, and now I was like, oh my God, commitment is my best, partner. I get things done, I can feel accomplished, I can actually get ahead, I can make an impact, and all of these things, and I can serve and help people while I'm here, So many times people ask me also, Crystal, aren't you not tired? You do all these Facebook lives and videos and blogs and so on, don't you feel tired? What's the point? Yes, of course. And how many times I'm oh, another live, I'm just so tired of it. Who even watches it? There is oftentimes also not enough, feedback, if what I said even hit anywhere, if anyone really, felt touched by it. Sometimes, so many times it feels like I'm talking to a wall, And that's because people don't give feedback to me. So if you want to change your life and also commitment, it's very important to start to give more feedback in your life, whatever it is, whether it's, Facebook Live or talking to someone, and positive feedback, especially if something really touched you, hey Crystal, this commitment thing, this really touched me, and yeah, I have also negative connotations about it. Thank you very much. It doesn't take much, maybe 2 calories, but it means a lot. So I know like where you are, and we have a communication. Even though I am a clairvoyant, I have no time to sit here and figure out like, oh, what are those people now thinking, So this way you can rebuild your, commitment and communication, and that will really help also, rebuild all the systems and structures which are needed, for your new life or your new dreams, and then follow through as well. So very, very important. So I promised also to give you a little overview of my personal commitments, professional commitments, relationship commitments, and then give you some ideas how you can work with it. So people ask like, okay, Crystal, what are your personal commitments? So every morning I write my morning pages. So I have a very inspiring, notebook. This is the one which I've been now writing since the 18th of December, and it's going to be 3 months now, in the middle of March now, and it has a beautiful golden side. It has to inspire me to open this every day and write for 20 minutes. Whatever like stream of consciousness comes, I sit down, I write. This is my meditation, this is my time to me. And this is now what I have done for the past 5 months. There is another book I already wrote, and this is just for me. This is my quality time. This is my time to process things. And sometimes also when I have like difficulties or some emotions are like taking over, I just take this and write, and then I write it down and I process it. So I don't have to disturb also Michael every time, or my friends or my family. I can actually process so many things actually also with my inner family now. And what a huge game changer this is, So I do this every day. If I don't have time in the morning, I do it throughout the day, but I do it because I am important to me. I am committed to me, because if I'm not committed to me, I can't commit to you there on the other side. I can't commit to my clients. I can't commit to my family, my friends, my fans. It's so, so crucial. So I see Greti Dunder is here and Anne Virpalo. Aloha, very nice to have you all. So I train 4 times a week. 2 times I go to cardio, and 2 times I do strength training. In addition, the other days in between there, I do my morning walks, which are around 20 to 30 minutes on the beach. We live 200 steps from the beach. It's like a sin not to use it, and it's really inspiring for my mind and my body. If possible, I also walk barefoot, so it's giving me the grounding, it's activating all my creative juices, and then I can come and start my day. We have also, okay, I'll come to that later. But so I've also now, as I have my step counter accountability partner watch, I do at least 5,000 steps daily. So in order to get that too, living in America where everywhere you go, you basically go with your car. Going to the gym, I park my car so much more further ahead, which I know now is around 300 steps away. So I know that 300 steps into the gym and 300 steps back. So I have already almost like 1,000 steps in, Then I sleep at least 6 to 8 hours. I go to bed early. So I maybe go to bed like around 9. I read a little book or something to calm down my mind. And I stop working around at the latest 7 p.m. so that I don't have any screen energy in me anymore. I do a bath once a week to take care of me and relax and just take care of my inner woman. I have social meetings at least once or twice per week with friends or, Zoom calls, whatever. Learn from others and events coaches at least 3-4 times a year or continuously in some masterminds and online groups. So I write a poem a day, which will be a year. This year in June, I've been writing a poem a day. So think of that commitment. And what that does is, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just like get my creative juices flow, give my inner, artist something to do and kind of express itself. And it's amazing stuff, which sometimes comes out. Sometimes it's rubbish, but sometimes it's like amazing stuff what comes out. Really cool. Do something creative at least once a week. Film editing, filmmaking, painting, handicrafts, whatever that is. Taking care of my inner family weekly. Something playful for the inner child. The other day I showed you I was playing kite, play in sand, ocean, something for the inner woman, listen to my intuition and follow through with the help of the inner man. So these are just some, and then in addition also I go to Al-Anon meetings as often as I can. If I can't go there, then I will read a book about these topics. So Al-Anon is for people who have had family member or someone close to them who has been addicted to alcohol or drugs or something. And as you know, my parents were alcoholics, so we have those behavioral patterns in us which we need to really work on continuously. This is not something you get like kind of done and finished. It's a continuous job. So okay, and then what are your personal commitments? So maybe you can, throw out some of those, like what is like, no matter what, like for me is this writing, every day. What is it you do every day for sure? And then we also have professional commitments. So yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly planning, weekly follow-up and daily planner, follow up with my clients regularly, Facebook Lives at least once a week, sharing the blog and then the YouTube video. So building a virality, post on Facebook daily, post on Instagram as often as I can, read new books about business, self-growth and my expertise, go regular update workshops on my field, follow up what I promised, organize my database regularly, reconnect with my network regularly, cooperate and cross-network regularly, work on regular financial and sales goals in the business. So these are some of the examples here. So what are your professional commitments? So share with me. Relationship commitments. So daily beach walks. If we can, we do a sunset walk with Michael every day together, which is amazing to kind of wrap up the day, ask how was your day, is there anything we need to talk about, and do it in such a beautiful environment. These sunsets here, you have probably seen me sharing some of them. Oh my God, they are like mind-blowing, really, really beautiful, takes your breath away. Weekly Tantra dates, we actually put those into our calendar because if we don't, they don't happen. So that's how it usually goes, Daily dinners together by the table with the candle, very important. We also say a daily dinner prayer. Every day can be different, so depending on what's going on. We have weekly meetings and talks. So business thing, is there anything personal? This is so crucial. So many couples don't do it, and it's just so important for good communication. At this event where I was, there was a question: what is the number one thing you are fighting for with your partner? Your conversations. And I was like, we don't fight like per se, like most people do. We actually, and how is this even possible? If you communicate openly and all the time also about your needs or what's going on, there is no fighting, because sometimes of course I have different opinions of different needs than Michael, and that's okay. We don't need to be the same, We are different people. Michael is a morning person, I'm the night person, so we don't need to force each other to be someone we are not, We just allow everyone to be who we are, and then inspire the other person to be even better than they are, from the inside motivation, And networking together and learning something new together. So that's why we also love to go to these events together. So you can actually take the abundance wheel and add here also your sexuality commitment, your health commitment, your career, work, talents, financials, commitment. So this will be interesting exercise for you. And then one final little thing. So why are commitments better than goals and even targets? They are better because they are usually connected to your internal motivation and inspiration. So as it is connected to the deepest level, it does not get disconnected too quickly. And this helps to create sustainability and persistency and consistency, and helps to build long-term results and containers and foundations. So this is why I also say I don't have New Year's resolutions, I have New Year's commitments. So now we are in the end of, we were in the end of February, beginning of March now. So go back to if you did New Year's resolutions and just be honest, how many of those are still going? So if you said, I'm going to train, like, are you training now every week as you are? And why not? If you're not, why not, So it's a good point to take that, kind of like check-in, as I said, commitment check-in, what I'm doing and why, and if I'm not doing, why I'm not doing it. So as mine is really, some of you know, I did that really beautiful transformation last year. I lost around 15 kilos, and training and, working out became my lifestyle. If I skip more than, maybe 5 days with no training or no movement, my body starts to scream, my mind goes crazy, and I understand all my chemicals are getting out of balance, and I can't really, I can't afford not to train anymore. This is disservice to me and to you on the other side of the screen, So in order to be the better version of me, I have to take care of me, and this has to be my connection and, connection with the inner commitment with myself. So this is a good question for you. What's your, inner, this is connected to your purpose and your why. And once these are like all kind of tied together, it just happens. It's almost like you put, the little pumpkin seed into really good soil where all the nutritions from the soil are there. You almost don't even need to water it. It just starts to grow because all the environment is supporting it. And commitments are nutritions for your purpose. So if you don't take care of your commitments, your seeds will most probably never kind of, grow into a pumpkin or whatever you are growing, So to just wrap it up, time has gone really, really fast. So I'm sorry about the Estonian fans, it's going to be a little later. But so it is a moment for you, commitments can help us, create easier because we are more connected to your true being and authenticity. So I can't do commitments anymore which are not connected to my purpose or life mission, just because, making money or, doing someone says something for, I don't know, for whatever purpose it is. If it's not aligned with my purpose and why, I just can't do it. And partly it's also because I'm in the new energy, but it's just the way it works. And all the new time children who are coming up now, they have the same thing. Maybe you have noticed they can't just go to have a job from 9 till 5. They want to have a purpose connected to it. And this is the future. So if you don't figure this out now, it will be so much harder, in the future. So the 3 tasks you will get. So what is your definition of commitment for you? Write this down. What do you need to change in order to have commitment as your best friend? And what kind of commitments do you already have on personal, professional, relationship level? And what other areas need your commitment? Sexuality, health, career, work abundance. So what are those? So You will have the link to my blog in the comments later. Please check out this blog with additional links which I link here, so you can work with this a little more. So if this video today was really spot on with your challenges and your life and you got some value out of it, please, if nothing else, just give me a thumbs up. Give me mahalo or thank you or aitah, you know. If you don't want to put it here, you know, under the comment section, please just, you know, do a private message to me. Thank you, Crystal. I really appreciate your work, your contribution, and this was really relevant to me. So once again, I'm still kind of, you know, mapping. If you find having these Facebook Lives with me are very, you know, important, and you would like me to continue with these, and you would also say, I commit to this, to come and check it out and also share and help Crystal to, you know, cross network, then also let me know. Yes, please continue with Facebook Lives in English or Estonian. And so I know that, okay, I have committed fans and clients and friends and loved ones there who are really also supporting my contribution. So it would be really, really nice to know. So I was also saying that I will offer some commitment possibilities for you. So I'm closing now, approving the applications for Inner Family program right now. In English. This week will be the last week to join for this set of group right now for 4 months, $250 per month for the next 4 months to work with your inner child, inner woman, inner man. And most people, they have major issues with those 3 archetypes inside of us, and once we activate, they will get better and better. So, and secondly, I am about to open a 12-week abundance wheel accelerator, you know, coaching program. And if you would be interested in that, also give me a note in the comment sections which one you would be interested. This year will be the last year I will actually offer the Inner Family program for that price for my fans here. I'm now about to launch also a bigger premium package of that, and next year the prices will be completely different because I also need to step into my true value and also demand and ask for what I'm truly worth. So I know I always have said, like, but the people who really need me don't have that money. If I'm going to do now bigger leaps and going to find the money to, you know, accelerate my, you know, growth, then I also would like to have people who feel the same value, you know, that I invest more and more into me, big, amazing abundance. Then I would also like to have people on board with that mindset as well. So, and on top of that, of course, Hawaii is still available to join. This will be also last time with that price and that setup for 10 days with me personally, 10-12 hours a day, going traveling on the big island, learning the Hawaiian ways, getting to know yourself, meeting the nature and yourself. This is the experience of a lifetime, which you get for basically almost, you know, for like very, very little money for what it's actually worth. People have said this is worth for like $millions because it's the experiences they get, you know. So use the chances. We have several opportunities. I'll put the links here how you can, you know, still jump on board. I have 6 people spots ready still for Hawaii as well, which happens in November. So thank you so much. Please share, read, do the homework. If you want to share your homework with me, please do. And next week we will look into self-sabotage. If you have questions about it or anything you would like to tell me about your challenges in general or what topics you would like to hear, please also don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you so much. I value so much, and please share, and till the next time. Mahalo.